President Joe Biden delivered his third State of the Union address, touching on everything from immigration to the war in Gaza.
And as he faces a low approval rating, the president needed this address to show he had a clear vision for his second term. Let's get right to Good Day's Robert Moses. He joins us now with those details. Robert, good morning.
So, Shawnee and Dan, good morning to you. Going into this speech, there was as much intrigue surrounding how President Joe Biden, who is 81, would look and sound as there was about what he would say. The president sought to answer questions about his own fitness while raising questions about his predecessors.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
Facing an approval rating of just 38%, according to a recent Gallup poll, and questions about his age, President Joe Biden delivered a forceful hour-plus-long address that sought to quiet questions about his mental acuity. While he never uttered the words Donald Trump, he referred to my predecessor more than a dozen times.
My predecessor and some of you here seek to bury the truth about January 6th. You can't love your country only when you win.
When Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene shouted at the president to say the name of Laken Riley, the nursing student who authorities say was murdered by an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela, the president picked up a button many Republicans wore and responded, though he used an incorrect name for her.
Lincoln Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. To her parents, I say, my heart goes out to you, having lost children myself. I understand.
Turning overseas, the president attacked former President Trump for, quote, bowing down to Russian President Vladimir Putin.
If anybody in this room thinks Putin will stop at Ukraine, I assure you he will not.
Putin only invaded Ukraine because he has no respect for Biden, the former president wrote on Truth Social during the speech. President Biden defended Israel's right to defend itself following the October 7th massacre.
Israel also has a fundamental responsibility, though, to protect innocent civilians in Gaza.
The president vowed to protect reproductive rights at home.
Clearly, those bragging about overturning Roe v. Wade have no clue about the power of women. But they found out when reproductive freedom was on the ballot. We won in 2022 and 2020, and we'll win again in 2024.
In order for him to win again, he will have to allay voters' concerns about his fitness for the job.
I know it may not look like it, but I've been around a while. My lifetime has taught me to embrace freedom and democracy. Now other people my age see it differently. The American story of resentment, revenge, and retribution. That's not me.
That was a clear reference to former President Trump. In the Republican response, Alabama Senator Katie Britt argued that President Biden is not fit for the job.
Our commander-in-chief is not in command. The free world deserves better than a dithering and diminished leader.
During the speech, the president said America is safer today than when I took office. But seconds later, Steve Nakui, whose Marine son was killed during the chaotic evacuation of Afghanistan back in 2021, shouted at the president from the balcony. Nakui was escorted out. He was arrested and charged with a misdemeanor for interrupting the speech. That's according to Capitol Police. Dan, back to you.
All right, Robert, thank you very much.